All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about something that's really changing the game in education, this idea of a network of knowledge. Think of it as your own personal learning GPS.
I mean, just imagine for a second. What if learning any new subject, from algebra to zoology, came with its own GPS, a dynamic guide that knows exactly where you are and, more importantly, where you need to go next?
Well, that's the promise, isn't it? A system that's designed from the ground up to guide you on the absolute most efficient path to mastering a new skill. And the wild part is, this technology is already here. So let's really unpack this idea of a personal learning GPS. We're going to see how this powerful metaphor isn't just some sci-fi concept. It's the actual technology powering some of the smartest e-learning platforms out there today. See, the core idea here is that these advanced tools aren't like a static textbook. They're in a constant conversation with you. They don't just throw information at you, they're actively learning about your strengths, your weaknesses, everything, to build a learning experience that's 100% personal. Of course, before any GPS can tell you where to go, it needs one crucial thing, right? A map. So, how do you map something as huge and abstract as knowledge itself? Well, it all starts with one fundamental rule. It all boils down to this really simple but incredibly powerful rule called a prerequisite relationship. This is basically the logic of learning. It's the idea that some concepts are the building blocks for others. You have to learn A before you can even begin to understand B.
Here's a super simple example we can all relate to. Think back to math class, right? You can't just jump into multiplying fractions.
If you don't first get the basic concept of what a fraction even represents. That first skill is a prerequisite for the second. It's a simple and pretty much unbreakable rule. Now here's where it gets really cool. When you link all of these little prerequisite rules together for an entire subject, what you get is this incredibly detailed map. In the world of cognitive science, this is formally called a knowledge structure. It's a huge network, usually put together by experts, that shows how every single skill connects to every other one. And believe me, these maps can get insanely detailed. One study, for instance, created a knowledge structure just for fractions, and it had 77 distinct interconnected learning goals. Can you imagine that? 77 individual steps just to master one small area of math? Okay, so we have our map, the knowledge structure. The next obvious question for our GPS is, where are you? How does the system figure out your exact location on this huge, complex map of knowledge? Your location on this map actually has a technical name. It's your knowledge state. It's just the complete set of all the skills you've already mastered in that subject. You can think of it as that bright, pulsing "you are here" dot on your personal learning map. So, how does it find that dot? It doesn't give you some massive 100-question exam. No, instead, it kicks off this really clever targeted process. It asks you a very specific question, it analyzes your answer, and based on just that one response, it dramatically narrows down the possibilities of what you know and don't know. Then it picks the next perfect question to get even closer. This whole process is called adaptive assessment, and the beauty of it is that it's just incredibly efficient. Instead of wasting time on stuff you already know or things you're not ready for, it zeroes in right on the edge of your knowledge, and it does it really, really fast. Now for the magic. The system has the map, and it's pinpointed your exact location. The final step for any good GPS is to calculate the best route forward. And this is where the difference is just night and day. Traditional learning is like a single highway that everyone has to drive on, no matter where they started. But adaptive learning? It creates a custom route just for you, based on your unique knowledge. It's the difference between being on a tour bus and having your own car with a top-of-the-line GPS. And hey, this isn't just a metaphor, it's exactly how these systems are built. As the research says, once your competent state, your location, is identified, the system automatically picks the next problem tailored precisely for you. It makes sure you always get the right challenge at the perfect time. And this technology is already out there making a huge difference. There's a platform called Alex, for example, which is built entirely on this knowledge space theory. It uses this exact GPS-like method to guide millions of students through tough subjects like math and chemistry. So when you put all these pieces together, the map, your location, the custom route, you start to see a very clear and very exciting picture of the future of learning. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that Any subject, really, is just a map of connected ideas. And these adaptive systems act as your personal GPS to find exactly where you are on that map, and then they calculate the most efficient path forward, just for you. This isn't just a small improvement. It is the very definition of truly personalized education. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. If every single student has their own unique map and their own personalized route to mastering a subject, what does that mean for the classroom of the future, for teachers, for how we even think about learning together? The journey, it seems, is just beginning.